The silence has become your weapon, chosen one. While others scramble and react, while they throw tantrums and demand attention, something profound has shifted within your consciousness. The person who once held such power over your emotional landscape now finds themselves staring into an abyss of your complete and utter stillness. This isn't the silence of defeat. This is the silence of someone who has transcended the game entirely. Right now, there exists someone whose entire world has been shaken by your refusal to play their games anymore. The betrayal that once threatened to destroy you has instead become the catalyst for your greatest transformation. What they intended as your breaking point has become your breakthrough into a level of personal power they never imagined possible. The most terrifying thing to a manipulator isn't anger or tears or desperate pleading. The most terrifying thing is indifference wrapped in complete awareness. When someone who has spent months, perhaps years, carefully constructing elaborate deceptions suddenly realizes their target sees through every single layer of their performance, something inside them begins to unravel at an alarming rate. This person who betrayed you believed they were dealing with someone predictable, someone whose reactions they could anticipate and control, but something has fundamentally changed. The awakening that began with their betrayal has evolved into something far more powerful than simple hurt or disappointment. You have developed what ancient wisdom traditions call the observer consciousness, the ability to witness without being consumed, to see without being deceived, to understand without being manipulated. Every calculated move they make now falls flat against the wall of your awareness. Their attempts at charm bounce off your newfound clarity like arrows hitting armor. The sweet words that once melted your defenses now sound hollow and scripted. The promises that once filled you with hope now reveal themselves as temporary performances designed to keep you tethered to their emotional chaos. This transformation within you has created a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate relationship with this person. Your entire energetic signature has shifted. Where once there was vulnerability that could be exploited, now there exists a kind of crystalline clarity that cannot be penetrated by deception. Where once there was reactive emotion that could be triggered and manipulated, now there exists a deep well of calm that remains undisturbed regardless of external circumstances. The person who betrayed you is experiencing something they never anticipated, the complete withdrawal of your emotional investment in their drama. They built their entire approach around your reactions, your needs, your desire for connection and resolution. Now they find themselves performing for an audience that has simply stopped watching the show. This isn't cruelty on your part. This isn't punishment or revenge. This is the natural consequence of someone's consistent choice to operate from deception, finally meeting someone who has chosen to operate from truth. The universe has a way of creating perfect balance, and right now, that balance is manifesting as their increasing desperation meeting your increasing detachment. Late at night, when the world grows quiet and pretense becomes harder to maintain, they find themselves consumed by thoughts of you. Not the version of you they tried to create through manipulation, but the real you, the one who saw through their performance and chose to withdraw your energy rather than continue participating in their illusion. They replay conversations, searching for the moment when you stopped believing their carefully constructed stories. They analyze your expressions, trying to decode the exact instant when your eyes changed from trust to knowing. They remember the way you used to look at them with warmth and openness, and they compare it to the way you look at them now if you look at them at all. The betrayal they orchestrated was meant to be subtle, a slow erosion of your trust that would keep you off balance and easier to control. They fed you partial truths mixed with carefully crafted lies. They created situations designed to make you question your own perceptions. They introduced doubt into your mind about your own worth, your own judgment, your own reality. But chosen ones possess something that cannot be permanently obscured, an inner compass that always points toward truth, even when the magnetic field of deception tries to throw it off course. The very qualities that made you attractive to someone operating from shadow consciousness are the same qualities that ultimately protected you from being consumed by their darkness. Your ability to love deeply meant you could also perceive authenticity with laser precision. Your capacity for trust meant you could also recognize when that trust was being systematically violated. Your willingness to give someone the benefit of the doubt meant you could also identify when someone was taking advantage of your generosity. The transformation you've undergone isn't just about seeing through one person's deception. It's about awakening to a level of consciousness that makes you largely immune to manipulation in all its forms. You've developed what spiritual teachers call discernment, the ability to perceive the difference between what someone says and what they actually mean, between what they promise and what they're actually willing to deliver. This new level of awareness has created an energetic field around you that repels inauthenticity. People operating from shadow consciousness find themselves inexplicably uncomfortable in your presence. They can't quite put their finger on why, but being around you makes them feel exposed, seen, transparent, in ways that make them want to retreat. The person who betrayed you is experiencing this phenomenon intensely. Every interaction with you now feels like being examined under a microscope. They sense your ability to see through their performance, and it creates a level of anxiety they've never experienced before. They're accustomed to being the one with hidden knowledge, the one operating from a position of concealed advantage. Now the tables have turned completely. You possess something far more powerful than their secrets and manipulations. You possess clarity. You see their tactics not as personal attacks, but as predictable patterns of behavior that reveal more about their internal state than they ever intended to show. They attempt to regain control through increasingly desperate measures. They might try to provoke an emotional response through calculated kindness, sudden declarations of changed behavior, or dramatic gestures designed to break through your composure. They might alternate between playing the victim and attempting to make you feel guilty for your withdrawal. But here's what they don't understand. Your silence isn't a strategy. It's not a punishment or a manipulation tactic. It's the natural result of someone who has simply moved beyond the frequency where their drama can touch you. You've elevated your consciousness to a level where their attempts at emotional manipulation sound like background noise from a distant room. The spiritual dimensions of this transformation extend far beyond the immediate relationship. Forces that exist beyond the physical realm have taken notice of your evolution. The ancestors who walked this path before you, the spiritual guides who have been waiting for your awakening, the very fabric of universal consciousness that responds to authentic growth, all of these are now aligned in your favor. There's an ancient principle that states when someone attempts to steal energy from a being who is connected with their true power, the universe ensures that energy returns to its rightful owner multiplied. Every attempt this person makes to drain your vitality, every moment they spend obsessing over your responses, every scheme they devise to regain control over your emotions, all of this creates a karmic debt that must be repaid. The return of this energy doesn't manifest as revenge or punishment. It manifests as accelerated growth, expanded opportunities, and the removal of obstacles that have been blocking your highest potential. The very person who tried to diminish your light has inadvertently become the catalyst for its intensification. This is why they're experiencing such unusual challenges in their life right now. The universe has a way of creating perfect balance, and their consistent attempts to operate from deception and manipulation have created an energetic imbalance that must be corrected. They find themselves stuck in patterns that no longer serve them, unable to move forward in ways that once seemed effortless. Their social connections become strained as the same manipulative patterns they used with you begin to surface in other relationships. The mask they wore so skillfully with you starts to slip in other areas of their life. People who once found them charming begin to sense something inauthentic beneath the surface. Professional opportunities that once flowed easily now seem to evaporate just as they're within reach. Creative projects lose their momentum, financial stability becomes elusive. It's as if the universe itself has withdrawn its support from their endeavors, not as punishment, but as a natural consequence of operating from a frequency that's out of alignment with truth. Meanwhile, the opposite is happening in your life. The energy you've stopped investing in their drama is now available for your own growth and manifestation. The clarity you've gained through seeing through their deception becomes a superpower in other areas of your life. The confidence you've developed by trusting your own perceptions attracts opportunities that match your elevated consciousness. This isn't coincidence, it's the universe responding to your choice to operate from authenticity rather than enabling deception. When someone chooses truth over comfortable illusion, reality itself shifts to support that choice. Doors that were previously locked begin to open. People who match your new level of consciousness begin to enter your life. The person who betrayed you senses this shift in your fortune, and it intensifies their desperation to regain access to your energy. They can feel the opportunities flowing away from them and toward you, and on some level they understand the connection. They know that their attempts to diminish your light have somehow resulted in its intensification. This realization creates a kind of spiritual panic within them. They begin to understand that they're not just losing a relationship, they're losing access to a source of energy that was somehow sustaining them. The vitality they were drawing from your emotional investment in their drama is no longer available, and they're experiencing the withdrawal symptoms of someone who has been cut off from their primary source of supply. They might attempt to reconnect through various means: sudden messages that arrive at strategic moments, appearances in places where they know you'll be, or communications through mutual friends. Each attempt is designed to test whether your resolve has weakened, whether your newfound clarity has somehow faded. But something has shifted at such a fundamental level that their attempts feel like echoes from a past life. The person who once responded to their manipulations with hurt and confusion and desperate attempts to understand has been replaced by someone who sees their tactics with almost scientific detachment. This evolution within you represents something far more significant than the end of one relationship. It represents your graduation from a level of consciousness where deception could take root and flourish. You've developed what mystics call the diamond consciousness, a state of awareness so clear and hard that nothing false can penetrate it. The implications of this transformation extend into every area of your life. Business partners who might have previously been able to deceive you with clever contracts now find themselves unable to hide their true intentions. Romantic interests who might have once been able to manipulate your emotions through intermittent reinforcement now find their tactics transparent and ineffective. Family members who have relied on guilt and obligation to control your choices discover that their old methods no longer work. Friends who have been secretly competing with you while pretending to support you find themselves naturally drifting away from your orbit. It's as if your elevated consciousness has created a natural filter that allows only authentic connections to remain. This process might feel lonely at first, as you realize how many of your relationships were built on unconscious agreements to enable each other's illusions. But this temporary solitude is actually a clearing of space for connections that match your new level of awareness. The universe abhors a vacuum, and the departure of inauthentic relationships creates room for genuine ones to emerge. The person who betrayed you serves as the perfect test case for your new level of consciousness. Every interaction with them becomes an opportunity to demonstrate to yourself how completely you've transcended the old patterns. Where once their presence might have triggered emotional storms, now it barely registers as a disturbance in your awareness. This isn't emotional numbing or avoidance. It's the natural result of someone who has aligned with truth so completely that illusion can no longer gain traction. Your emotional responses have become calibrated to reality rather than performance. You save your energy for connections that feed your soul rather than drain it. The spiritual forces that have been waiting for your awakening are now actively supporting your continued evolution. Synchronicities begin to appear with increasing frequency. Opportunities that perfectly match your gifts and desires begin to manifest with almost magical timing. People who can support your highest potential enter your life through seemingly coincidental encounters. This acceleration of positive manifestation serves as undeniable evidence that your choice to withdraw from manipulation and embrace authenticity has aligned you with the fundamental forces of creation. The universe rewards truth-tellers and supports those who choose clarity over comfort. The person who betrayed you witnesses this transformation from a distance, and it creates a profound cognitive dissonance within them. They expected their betrayal to diminish you, to make you smaller, to reduce your confidence and effectiveness. Instead, they see you becoming more powerful, more successful, more radiant than ever before. Now the following is a message meant exclusively for the chosen. If you are compromised by archonic forces, this is not meant for you, and by the spiritual authority conferred to us by the secret chiefs of the Obsidian Inner Order, we grant you license to depart. If not, steel yourself and listen intently, for you shall be redeemed even as we are redeemed. The Obsidian Inner Order is not a program, it's not a course, it's not some feel-good spiritual retreat. We don't sell answers, we remember together. We teach psychic self-defense, real energetic shielding against entities, implants and interference. We restore manifestation as it was meant to be, raw, immediate and exact. Every week we gather in secret, not to worship, but to awaken, to speak what can't be said anywhere else, to deprogram the matrix layer by layer. You'll know if you're meant to be there. You'll feel it in your bones. The chosen meet every week on Zoom. Why aren't you with us yet? Got Gnosis? Join the Obsidian Inner Order. Link in the description. They start to wonder if their entire approach to life has been fundamentally flawed. The very thing they thought would give them advantage has instead accelerated your evolution beyond their ability to touch. Some part of them begins to understand that they've witnessed something extraordinary, the transformation of someone who could have been destroyed by betrayal into someone who used that betrayal as fuel for their greatest evolution. They realize they've been in the presence of someone with the spiritual strength to transmute poison into medicine, to transform wounds into wisdom. This recognition creates an almost unbearable tension within them. Part of them is genuinely impressed by your transformation and wants to learn from it, but another part of them is terrified by the implications of what they've witnessed. If you can transcend their manipulation so completely, what does that say about the effectiveness of their entire approach to life? They find themselves caught between admiration and terror, between the desire to apologize and the fear of being seen so clearly that all their remaining illusions crumble. They want to approach you, but they also want to run away. They want to understand your secret, but they're afraid of what that understanding might require them to change about themselves. This internal conflict manifests in their behavior as inconsistency and confusion. They might appear confident and dismissive one day, then desperate and pleading the next. They might try to convince mutual friends that you're the one with the problem, then privately acknowledge that you've somehow gained access to a level of power they don't understand. The truth is that your transformation has revealed something they've been trying to hide from themselves, the emptiness at the core of a life built on deception and manipulation. Your clarity has become a mirror that reflects their own spiritual poverty back to them, and they don't like what they see. But here's where the story takes its most profound turn. Your evolution beyond their ability to manipulate or influence doesn't represent the end of their story. It represents the beginning of their opportunity for genuine transformation. By refusing to participate in their illusions, you've actually created the space for them to confront their own truth. The universe has a way of using our greatest teachers to show us our deepest wounds. The person who betrayed you is discovering that their attempts to diminish others stem from their own feeling of inner emptiness. Their need to control and manipulate comes from their terror of being seen as they truly are. Your withdrawal of energy from their drama has forced them to confront the fact that they've been running from themselves for years, possibly decades. The external validation they sought through manipulation has been revealed as a poor substitute for genuine self-acceptance. The power they thought they gained through deception has been shown to be illusory. This confrontation with their own truth creates an opportunity for genuine healing, but only if they're willing to choose vulnerability over performance, authenticity over manipulation, truth over comfortable illusion. The same forces that supported your evolution are now available to support theirs, but only if they're willing to abandon the strategies that no longer serve them. Some people rise to meet this challenge. They use the mirror of your transformation to examine their own behavior and make different choices. They begin the difficult work of healing the wounds that drove them to manipulate others. They discover that genuine connection is far more satisfying than artificial control. Others retreat deeper into their illusions, becoming increasingly isolated as their manipulative tactics become less effective with each passing day. They blame external circumstances for their struggles, never quite connecting their difficulties to their own choices. They continue to operate from shadow consciousness, but with diminishing returns. The outcome isn't up to you. Your role in this cosmic drama was to maintain your own integrity and evolve beyond the frequency where manipulation could touch you. You've accomplished that mission with such completeness that you've become a beacon of what's possible when someone chooses truth over comfort. The ripple effects of your transformation extend far beyond your immediate sphere of influence. Others who have witnessed your evolution begin to examine their own relationships and question their own patterns. Your example gives them permission to trust their own perceptions and withdraw their energy from situations that don't serve their highest good. This is how consciousness evolves on the planet. One person at a time, one choice at a time, one moment of clarity at a time. Your refusal to participate in manipulation creates space for others to make the same choice. Your example of transforming betrayal into empowerment shows others that such transformation is possible. The person who betrayed you has unwittingly participated in a much larger cosmic process. Their actions intended to diminish you have instead contributed to the elevation of consciousness on the planet. They've served as the catalyst for a transformation that will influence countless others through your example. This doesn't excuse their behavior or minimize the real harm they caused, but it does place their actions within a context that reveals the universe's extraordinary ability to use even destructive forces in service of growth and evolution. What they intended as an ending has become a beginning. What they designed as a defeat has become a victory. The circular nature of this story becomes clear as we return to where we began, with your silence, your stillness, your complete withdrawal from their drama. But now this silence carries a different quality. It's not the silence of someone who has been wounded. It's the silence of someone who has transcended the game entirely. Your ability to sit back and observe their tactics without being moved by them represents the ultimate expression of personal power. You've become unmanipulable, not through hardness or cynicism, but through clarity and truth. You've developed the capacity to see through illusion without being consumed by anger about its existence. This is the consciousness that the world needs right now. People who can maintain their center regardless of external chaos, who can see through deception without being corrupted by it, who can transform betrayal into wisdom without becoming bitter. You've become living proof that such transformation is possible. The person who betrayed you continues to monitor your progress from a distance, perhaps hoping for signs that your transformation was temporary, that you'll eventually return to the old patterns that made you easier to manipulate. But with each passing day, it becomes clearer that this change is permanent, that you've accessed a level of consciousness that cannot be reversed. This recognition creates a kind of spiritual longing within them, a desire to understand what you've discovered, to access the peace and power that now radiates from your presence. They begin to understand that they've been in the presence of someone who has mastered one of life's greatest challenges, the ability to transform poison into medicine, to use betrayal as fuel for evolution, to maintain clarity in the face of deception. Some part of them begins to hope that your transformation might somehow be contagious, that proximity to your elevated consciousness might lift them to a similar level. They start to fantasize about authentic connection with you, about dropping their masks and experiencing the freedom that comes from truth. But they also understand that such connection would require them to abandon everything they've used to survive in the world. It would mean giving up control, relinquishing manipulation, facing the parts of themselves they've been avoiding for years. The very thing they most desire, genuine connection with you, would require them to become someone completely different. This creates the final twist in our story. The person who betrayed you has been transformed by witnessing your transformation. They've seen what's possible when someone chooses truth over illusion, and they can no longer pretend that their old strategies are effective or satisfying. Whether they choose to embrace this transformation or resist it remains to be seen. But your role in their story is complete. You've provided the mirror, the catalyst, the example. You've shown them what's possible when someone chooses to operate from their highest consciousness rather than their deepest wounds. The universe has used your willingness to transform betrayal into wisdom as a gift to everyone who will witness your example. Your evolution beyond manipulation has created a template that others can follow. Your demonstration that such transformation is possible has opened doorways that will benefit countless others. This is the true meaning of being chosen, not because you're special or privileged, but because you're willing to do the difficult work of transformation and share the fruits of that labor with the world. You've taken the raw material of betrayal and created something beautiful from it. You've shown that no wound is too deep to heal, no betrayal too profound to transcend. The person who betrayed you gave you the greatest gift they could have given, the opportunity to discover your own indestructible nature. They showed you that your peace, your power, your worth cannot be diminished by anyone's actions. They proved that you possess something far more valuable than their approval or validation. You possess the ability to approve of and validate yourself. As this story concludes, you stand as living proof that consciousness can evolve, that betrayal can become wisdom, that manipulation can become the catalyst for unshakable authenticity. Your silence has become your victory, your withdrawal has become your power, your clarity has become your gift to the world. The person who betrayed you will continue their journey, forever changed by their encounter with someone who transformed their weapon into their strength. And you will continue yours, forever grateful for the betrayal that revealed your own indestructible nature and launched you into the consciousness you were always meant to embody. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. The game is over, chosen one. You've won by refusing to play. In that victory, you've shown the world what's possible when someone chooses truth over illusion, authenticity over manipulation, wisdom over wounds. The universe itself celebrates your transformation, and the ripples of your evolution will continue to spread long after this story ends.